Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream. Let's see. Is everybody seeing my screen? Just let me quickly know in the comments. Let me know if you can see and hear me properly. And we'll be getting started with today's little project. So I'll be waiting for a moment before I get started. I get some indication that the stream might be a bit delayed or something. Well, as soon as you see this, just give me a comment. Oh, there we go. Hello, Chewy. Welcome back. I'm surprised to see you over and over here. So let me explain then. Basically, I've been continuing to work on the project and I wanted to make more characters in the project of Arata. So I decided to start with his wife, Mrs. Arata, in that sense. And this is how far I got. And I didn't finish it up yet. Of course, there's a lot left to do. I want to change many parts. I want to kind of improve on the details. So I decided to take this into the live stream for today's work. Is the live stream working alright, really? I don't know why exactly it is, but YouTube is telling me that my live stream might have some minor issues. Well, okay, looks like you guys can see me. Yep, I think things improved. Alright. Wonderful. Let's get started. So for everybody who is new to this stream and like everything, we started this project kind of 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to practice character modeling pretty much, but it seems a bit meaningless to just work on characters without any purpose. So I just decided I would stream it and let all of you have influence on the outcome. And we ended up with a whole story and like a bunch of characters that I want to make. And so we didn't really finish it, but I call it good enough for now with our first character, Mr. Arata, and you can see the progress and everything of that on the Facebook group. The link is in the description. I'm posting like all the screenshots over there if you want to see what we did in the past. And so now I moved on to modeling, well, basically his wife in the story, who is a demon. And I just wanted to start out with the face to see like what kind of facial expressions she would have, what kind of person she would be. And so you can see I already made quite some progress that I did not stream. I just did this yesterday by myself, but we're far from done. I want to improve a bunch of details here and there, and actually I'm not quite happy with her very angry facial expression. I think she should be kind, like more of a kind personality. Mr. Arata himself became more evil after like she was killed by the king, basically, in the story. So she's supposed to be more of a kind person. They're on the good side at the beginning. So, by the way, as always, credits to MG for helping a lot with that story. And I just got started and we'll be doing this now. So let me know if you have any questions, and let me see what the comments are saying, by the way. Well, yeah, just let me know then. And the hair is quite temporary. I can just hide this for now, and I'll go and make the skin brighter again. The reason why I made it dark is just for demonstration, kind of the idea that the hair is brighter. And I'm quite happy with the ears. Like, I just modified them a little bit because, like, what does a demon look like? But I want to make it visually a little bit different, so I decided to go for the ears and give them a little bit of a special feature there. And so, what shall we do then? I want to try, first of all, to make some bigger changes. Well, horns is of course one of the obvious ones, but like, okay, let's try it. Do you want to see horns? I thought it was a bit too normal. Like, what? It's those horns that are like kind of not spirals. What is it? Twisted. I thought that was a bit too normal, or like wasn't quite happy with that. But let me know if you think that's a good idea. I'll let you guys decide on that. Let's see. So I learned one trick which I thought was interesting. These are kind of the things you only learn when you talk to various people, and this is something from cosmetics, I heard. Apparently when you take the point, where was it? The tip of the nose, I think, and you draw a line from the tip of the nose through the pupil of the eye and continue to the eyebrow, that's where the highest point of the eyebrow is supposed to be. And if you draw a line through the tangent of the pupil, like the outer tangent of the pupil, you should be getting the kind of the end of the eyebrow. So according to that rule, my eyebrows should be a bit narrower on the outside, and so I just want to give this a try. And it seems kind of to be a good rule to find a position for where the eyebrows end. So maybe that's something you want to remember as well. Hey Heel, welcome back to the stream. I'm glad to see all of you. Like all the usual viewers are back, it seems. So today we're working on Mrs. Arata. You can check out the Facebook page for like a few more pictures and screenshots and like a bit of description about what I did in the meantime. The link is in the video description, of course. So let's see. She still looks quite angry. I guess her eyes are quite deep as well. Maybe we can try to get them a bit, push them a bit more outside. Her name is Hanako. You already decided the name. Well, sure, why not? What a cute name though for a demon. I wonder why her parents would give her such a cute name. So I wonder if that is better now. It's quite difficult to tell like the subtle differences between like little changes that I make. Both of them look normally, well, normal enough to stick with them, but at the same time didn't change much, did it? So this one or here. I guess the new version is better, maybe. All right. Hi Suzaki. Hi everybody who joined. Alright, I'll be taking away the eyebrows for a moment because I want to continue working a bit more on the forehead. I think it looks a bit too strong at the moment, so just so that we don't get confused with that. Let's take it off for a second. So today, for those of you who just joined, I'll be working on hopefully finishing this face. So I'll be making lots of little adjustments here because I'm not quite happy with the overall kind of expression yet. And I'll be making, well, more finer details. You can see that we still don't have proper eyelids. The nose is just very blurry. The lips are just like indicated roughly. There's still a lot we can add, so we'll be mostly doing that sort of thing today. So, who here in the chat has had a chance to play Final Fantasy, the newest one? I'm curious about that. Let me know. Number 15. So I've recently got a copy of that, and I was just so amazed, of course, with especially with the cinematic shots. Like, they're so fascinating, the amount of detail. Only the demo? Well, I just barely started looking into it. I actually want to play it with some friends, so I'm actually just leaving it on the side for now until we can gather, basically. But it looks really promising to this point. I'm very excited to like play that game. And really, my art style is, I think, strongly influenced by that sort of game, as I'm also trying to go for it's not a super realistic look that I'm doing here, is it? But it's also not stylized enough to say that it's like different. So it's kind of semi-realistic, similar to what Final Fantasy would do. That's also one of the reasons why I'm very interested into that game in particular. And let's see. Well, Century, actually I was changing the stream time like 2 times, because like on YouTube, when you stream, YouTube gives you the option to schedule your next stream, but as soon as you can only change the time of your scheduled stream once you check the box for schedule your stream. And so first I check the box, and then I guess some people are already getting notifications that I will be streaming at 1 or something, but then I change the time to like earlier because I don't want to be waiting for an hour until I start. But then actually I wanted to change it once again because like I finished like what I had to do, and so you got a bunch of notifications, I guess. There's just no really good way to do it on YouTube, like set the time first and then announce it. You have to announce it first and then you get to change the time. So that's why, I guess. MJ saying, what if she was secretly alive and being brainwashed by the king? Maybe he fell in love with her. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, that's interesting. But I like the part of that she's actually still alive, because I mean, if she's just dead, I mean, the story would kind of end there, wouldn't it? There must be some sort of hope. Maybe that she can come back under certain circumstances, or maybe that she's actually still alive, but in some different situation. But why would she change her mind? I don't think that she would be brainwashed to just be a different person. She must be. I think it would be more interesting if she kind of, in her new situation, made some new realizations, and that she actually changed her mind and then that it's part of the story that he wants to change her mind back to kind of what she originally used to be thinking, or something like that. Memory loss, well, I don't think they would lose memory or something. I mean, they're not that weak, are they? But like maybe she died and there's like just a different world in which the dead people live, and over there she realized that she can still do something, and she came back to do something that she decided to, and then and like he is just not part of her plan anymore, something like that. Fundy is saying, I have struggled with sculpting in Blender. Well, I struggle at sculpting in Blender too, but maybe I just haven't given it enough opportunity to, not enough practice. But I feel that the Blender sculpting tools they do the job, but they're not really great. But I may be wrong. What if he trapped her soul in the body of a dragon? Oh, that gets interesting. What does this word mean? So she becomes a god? And she rules the underworld? Interesting. Yeah, something in that direction sounds really nice. It's like she's still there, but they can't be together, but there's like hope for her to come back in some way, but there's reasons why she can't. Sort of thing. Let's start over here with the eyes. I'm messing up the details here. Let's see. I haven't ever played Skyrim. I don't really know the storyline either. Oh, and thanks for your question, Shui. He's asking what kind of project this is anyways. Let me explain this, because I think there's many people who just casually join the stream for a few moments. I'd like to explain it a couple of times. So basically, I'm just creating some opportunities for myself to practice character modeling, but modeling characters without any background is, on the one hand, a bit boring, feels a bit meaningless, and on the other hand, like, okay, you got a character, but then what? Sort of that feeling. And to avoid that, I just started doing this series about, well, that we kind of codenamed together, Project Arata, and we're trying to come up all together with some story that makes sense with the characters that we're building, coming up with next characters that kind of make sense together with these characters, and basically the outcome is completely open at this point. I was expressing in my last stream the thought that I would prefer animation, but at the moment I even think that a little role play game would be fun. Of course, I won't be able to do everything by myself. There's lots of things that I don't have enough knowledge about, but my belief is that if I just continue to make more characters and story together with everybody for this world, that it will excite other artists to join and maybe contribute. So it would be really nice to just have this as a bit more meaningful mean of practicing. So basically this is what we're doing, and I'm posting all the updates about this project on Facebook on the page that I posted in the link in the description, so everybody can kind of stay up to date over there. And I'll be streaming often. I won't be streaming every time because it's actually quite difficult to stream. Like, it might sound like I'm just hanging out here and talking about whatever goes to my mind, but it's, for me at least, it is still quite exhausting sometimes to keep talking for like many hours. So like, if I just want to get something done, I'll be not streaming at times. And so that's kind of what this project looks like, so feel free to take a look if you're interested. And Donnie's back, welcome. Sounds interesting. Volunteer group. The downfall of the kingdom. Artist legend, the downfall. I know it could be plagiarism, but if the wife could be the mother of dragons, the story of Arata would be that a father trying to be... Wow, that's complex. I'm not entirely sure if I understand you there. Wow, but I love all your ideas. Like, they're all so interesting. The good thing is we don't have to decide just yet. Like, the main things, the most important things are maybe the characters that we want to appear, and so we kind of have those figured out at the moment, at least for what we can do now. So let's play around with our fantasies until we get to the point where we need to make a decision. We'll figure out the best path. Like, I was thinking about, what do you need, for example, to make a game? What kind of artists, what positions? And I was kind of comparing as well with what I can do. I just came across this thought that a game designer is actually quite essential to any game, of course, but how do you find game designers? Like, not people who do art or anything, but people who have a really good understanding of what makes a game interesting, pretty much. And in case it would turn into a game project, that would be a really essential position, but I can't come up with a good plan to to get somebody good on board. I mean, it seems like an easy task, like game designer. You just come up with what the game looks like what the contents of the game are. It sounds really simple, but I believe that it's just as complex and difficult as modeling characters. So and like, you're right, and like, read books or watch GDC conferences is definitely a good source for that knowledge, and I actually do both of those things, but I'm just not a game designer. It's just not my strength. I know that if I do it personally, the result won't be as amazing, so I don't want to kind of force myself to do things that I'm not really good at anyways. And I really hate what I'm doing here with the eyes, by the way. Let me open up some pictures. I need to look at something here. I'm trying to do that without anything. Won't be working out well. Let me search for something on my other screen. Alright, some reference here. I'll try it again. Let me see what you guys are saying. Game bashes. Yeah, that would be really fun. One issue with game bashes though is that they're focused about game design, right? Because you can come up with fun games in a short time. But one consideration is always going to be, is it doable in a short amount of time? Because as you said, it's based on a time limit. But this is more, for me personally, this is more an art project. How beautiful can we design the environments? How beautiful can we design the characters? And of course, for everybody who participates, it will be kind of their job to do their thing as good as possible. So I don't think really time is going to be, like, time pressure is going to be really good here, but but I really would love the collaboration part. So I see. I think eventually it will be more easier for people to feel like they want to join, but at this point, I mean, I haven't done much work by myself yet, unless there is like already 5 or 6 characters almost ready for a game, like rigged and everything. Like, it just seems like another person trying to get people to work for free. So really the first step before I go and search for any other developers to actively contribute is to do my best on my side. So I'll be modeling a bunch of characters, and once they're all done, retopologized and rigged and ready, and we got the story together, because we'll probably have to do maybe even a separate session, maybe even a separate live stream, just to like gather story ideas and to kind of finalize that part. Only after that really it will make sense to kind of set up a website and to ask for people to collaborate, because until then there is not much to do anyways, and it just sounds like you're trying to push your work to other people, and so I want to avoid that. It just happens so often to myself even, that people come and ask for 3D models if I want to work on a project together, but it's very easy to tell when people actually have a plan, or if it's kind of like, if the project is going to fail, if I put it in very direct terms. And I don't want to disappoint anybody here, so... Wow, the comments are like moving forward here. Really, even professionals participate in them. That's interesting. I guess like one way is then eventually to participate in some of the conferences and like just talk with people about the project, get people excited about it. And that's also one of the reasons why I started the Facebook group. So just that there is a place where people can like keep track of the project and wait for how things are going. So let's see if we can get something up all together. And like, how amazing would it be on top of everything if you apply to like your favorite games studio that hopefully does similar RPG kind of style things, and then you can just say, well, I'm applying for character modeling and pretty much develop the whole game together with these people, and there's my art inside. Even though you don't have experience as like an employee, you would have a lot to show at that point if you had something like that to bring with you. And I'm pretty sure the same goes for game developers, game designers, kind of as a first opportunity to apply all your knowledge and to have not just pictures, but like a real project, a real coherent project, a realistic scenario of what you would do in work as well, to show off as your kind of portfolio work. That would be quite strong, I think, a strong point that would help you to get into the industry. Let me read the comments quickly. Fanny says, sometimes they combine ideas in Pinterest, start a thing. In Japan, you say, let me just read to the end. Interesting. What are the popular game bashes out there? I've never really looked into it. Man, my air conditioner is turning off again. Give me a second. Huh. All right. So I think I'm just going to change the topic a little bit here. I guess you guys have your own topic to talk about for a moment. Anyways, like one thing I was looking a bit into that I thought maybe is interesting for you guys as well. I'm always trying to improve in my character art, obviously, I mean. But there's many other people who do art in some way. They maybe you're a musician, maybe you're into 3D modeling, and all of these things are very, very high performance arts that to learn them require daily practice sessions with many hours of work. And so the problem that comes with that really is conditions of overwork, loss of motivation, and those sort of things. And I think that really most artists are subject to those kind of feelings, and it's very natural to kind of have to confront them if you're kind of on your way to becoming an artist. And myself, I had no clue really about all these things, and like I was always trying to avoid these feelings of demotivation and like complete exhaustion. But recently I read a bit more about it, and I figured out that indeed kind of working really hard for many hours every day and forcing yourself to work, even if it doesn't go well, even if you kind of feel pain and like you want to stop, continuing still is not very healthy. So anyways, according to what I read, there's like two types of passions, pretty much: obsessive ones and harmonic ones, where one of them you force yourself to work even if you feel pain, as I said, and the other one being more of a you always come back because you like it, but of course when you feel exhausted you stop and you take breaks, kind of style. And I just wanted to share this awareness a little bit, because even though I've been doing this for so many years, I pretty much heard this for the first time. I would have never guessed that the reason why I'm tired and why I lose motivation over and over is because I work too much. And so I'm just in the middle of trying this out, trying to control my work habits a bit better. But if it leads to less demotivation, and if it leads to a more positive mindset, then I think it's quite obvious that it actually had something to do with working too much. So if you guys have anything like that, if you guys work too much, well, think about it if you want to do that. It's just a struggle, right? Once you hear a lot of the stories by artists, they all tell you need to work like crazy to become one of the best, to be part of this industry. And then how are you supposed to accept like taking time off and taking a rest if you're actually supposed to work? It's just really stressful to sit around and do nothing, because you're always followed by this thought, I actually should be working on something. But maybe that is not a very good thought to be having, so that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Don is saying on that overwork topic, your brain also needs some time to relax in order to digest and process what you've learned. It's so complex, the topic. Like, and it's so hard to like understand, even if somebody tells you, well, the proof is always very vague, and you just have to believe it, like that's what scientists say or so. Because like, to just give you the argument against that, isn't our mind always doing something? I mean, whether we spend our time watching a video on YouTube or whether we sit down and do something in 3D, it feels quite equivalent to me. It's just an example. Of course, I get the point, but like, it can be hard to make people believe in that sort of thing. And also, if you're on the side of the person who is thinking that you're actually being exhausted by mental, well, exhaustion basically, how are you going to tell somebody? You're going to your parents, for example, and you're telling, I'm sorry, I can't help you today, I'm too exhausted, and they will just tell you, what are you exhausted of? You just sat in your room for the entire day, how can you be exhausted? Like, it is not really accepted as something that is supposed to exhaust you. People don't really believe sometimes when you tell them that you're exhausted after just like thinking. So these are kind of like some controversies in that area. But let me read what everybody else is saying there. Opposite is she relaxed too much? Well, as long as you're positive and you're living a nice life, that's totally fine. I mean, better than really getting yourself depressed and stuff. I mean, like, the symptoms of overwork are basically headaches, kind of not like depression, but sort of a very negative feeling in that direction, and you might kind of feel dizzy and weak, and you lose motivation. And I even read that the termination of career ambitions is also a very common symptom. And I just realized that even myself, I was about to quit 3D, and I think you guys probably remember if you followed my streams. For various reasons that I made up, I just thought 3D is not the right thing. 3D is going to, I mean, I just thought maybe I need to do something else. I was thinking about becoming an engineer instead, or I was thinking about going to drawing instead. But like, it was just too demotivating to work hard. And like, another important reason why you get overworked and stressed is because of too high expectations as well. So having high expectations in yourself and long working hours and continuing to work even though you feel pain, these are like things that combined are very unhealthy and will probably lead to you stopping to do that kind of, to follow that passion after a couple of years. In my case, I guess I was addicted enough to find out that I'm too addicted and to kind of get myself under control. But I still have to see if it works out anyways. Well, these are kind of things that nobody tells you really, and that artists definitely struggle with. And I'm not sure if it's really true that you have to feel the pain in order to become an artist. Why is there not a way to have it a bit easier as an artist? Like, I'm not saying you don't need to practice, but like, at least you should be able to practice without pain. Anyways, what is everybody saying? It seems there is a studio where they work for half a year and take the rest off it as vacations. That's a really, really nice way of doing it. For example, I wonder how they deal with like payment of wages, if they just say like if they get that paid and it's just less, or if they don't get paid during that time. I also know one example of a company where they work for 3 years and then they get to take a year off and things like that. There's various approaches. He was saying, I usually get demotivated and depressed when I don't get to work. So the last 2 months I've been horrible. But school starts on Monday. Well, interesting too. Um, like, I know for myself, I'm kind of similar in that sense. I also get really annoyed and angry if I have too much work at school, for example, because I know if I had a little bit free time, I would be modeling and doing 3D. So I really want to do my work, but if something gets in my way, it really annoys me. But then what happened to me, summer break started, and like I was sitting here and doing 10 hours a day, and that was just too much on the other hand. So I guess the balance is still important. Of course, like the opposite, doing nothing, is just as bad maybe, because you'll want to do something, but I'm not really in the position to talk about the details. I'm just exploring that myself. Parents don't feel what you feel. Well, indeed, they look at the scene from their perspective. It's definitely different from yours. And they tend to hurt your feelings a lot? Well, depends, I guess. It's funny. In my situation, yes, my parents did bug me a lot back then, but the older I get, the more I understand them. It's really just as people say, like the older you get, the more you understand why your parents say all these things, and you become more and more similar to them. I mean, I might be just, again, I'm just one person, but for me, I experienced it that way anyways. I'm Indian, so I'm either an engineer or a doctor. Is that really the only two options? Well, stereotypes are there for sure, though. I got good at reading. Well, as long as you guys have passion to come back and continue it, isn't that a really nice thing? Like, it's very important not to get angry at yourself, I believe, at this point, for not doing work. Accept it better as what it is, but still want to come back, maybe. Like, well, I don't know for sure. I'm just trying to avoid the situation of me getting disappointed in myself by all means at the moment, because I feel that this was the main cause for me feeling less motivated about things. And that's my view on the topic anyways. Do the eyes look like something reasonable? I worked on just the eyes for such a long time now, and I really struggle with them actually. Is that somehow acceptable? I don't really know at this point. Let me go back in my steps to see what the heck I did with the eyes here. So this is what we started out with. It was really smooth and didn't have much details, so I went in and did this with it. I guess it's better from before. Yeah, I'll leave it this way. Unfortunately, I didn't really have much control over it though, so I'll have to practice them a bit more. Like, kind of the steps in learning in sculpting for me are, first, just get it done somehow to look good. Do it over and over, experiment around, don't worry about getting it done at all. Just continue playing around with the shape until you get to something that looks alright. And then start over and do it again. And again, struggle with it as long as it takes. Give it the time until you get to a point where you're sort of satisfied with it. And then start over and do it again. And once you feel like you can reproduce that result confidently, you know kind of the most important shapes, that time will come when you realize that, okay, now I sort of understand the eyes now, for example. Then it's time to take the eyes and do some little modifications, like what happens, for example, if I raise kind of the outer corner a bit. What happens if I make them thin? Can I make them really big? Can I make them wide? Like, start experimenting, and then you'll be able to control them more and more. So personally, for me, I think I'm right now at the stage of sort of being able to reproduce them with a medium amount of confidence. So I still have a far way to go, in other words. But maybe that's something you can use for your studies as well. Vacation inertness syndrome, what's that about? Ubisoft developers, let me see. I can't find it. Where did you mention them? Wait, can I search for that? Ah, I just found it. Wow, that's quite a while ago. Someone I know went to a game jam, is what they're also called, and some Ubisoft developers showed up. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Interesting. So these people really go to these places. Well, I guess they do. If there was like sculpting events, I would go there if I could. Like, the reason why I can't go is because I'm a student, and like I can't afford on the one hand, and like on the other hand I have classes to attend to. But I really want to. I really wish I could go to the ZBrush summit. That would be so cool. It's in Hollywood, isn't it? End of September this year at the Gnomon School grounds, I think. That would be so cool if I could go there, but I guess I'll just be satisfied with watching the live streams. Is there a way to... I think there are some websites, like, it would be really cool to watch the streams of the ZBrush Summit in like a live stream kind of, or like, what is it called? Like a group chat or something. That would be really nice. Since I can't attend, I guess. Well, I have classes starting in October. But unfortunately, course registration and that sort of thing is all throughout the end of September, and it's really a bad time to be away. And also, again, where does the money come from? I can't just take my things and go now. But I should be going. You're right, actually. I'm pretty sure I'll be going very soon, like maybe next year, maybe in 2 years. Before graduating, probably. I'll take one of my chances here. It's maybe just a bit too short notice for me to change my plans now, as flights are getting expensive and everything. So next time maybe. Is anybody going there by chance, or is anybody going to other conferences related to games? Is anybody going to GDC, or is anybody going to, I don't know what's out there. I guess you guys who live in the United States have the best chances to get to see nice conventions about, or like developer conferences. There is not much out here in Japan, actually. I looked into it a bit, and they're like little conferences, a few of them, but there is not such a culture of getting together and collaborating much in Japan. The culture in Japan is more like go to a school and learn about it. You don't need to be perfect, you don't need to be the best. Just learn at university, and then the company will take you if they see potential in you, and then they will train you in the company, and you're supposed to stay at the company for your entire life. But I'm not sure if that applies to game companies that much, because like they're quite international these days, even in Japan, so they might be more used to people coming from various backgrounds with skills and I don't know, from other countries, but the usual path would look like that. You're right, Donnie. The flight ticket and total booking are drop in the bucket if you compare it to the potential gain. Alright, here's my question actually to people who live in the United States. What is it like to be there anyways? I don't know why it is really. I don't mind going to any country really. It's not like I'm like, but the United States only, I'm like a bit nervous of going there actually. Like, I don't know what to expect really. I know that like every place I see on videos in the United States looks pretty, but at the same time I know that the United States are huge, and I'm pretty sure that everything other than where people live doesn't look that, I don't know what to say, nice, but like I have no idea what would expect me if I just took a flight and arrived somewhere. Like, I have a clear image when I come to Japan. I have a clear image when I go to some city in Europe. I know like what expects me sort of, but I for some reason I have no idea what would expect me if I just go to the United States. Also like the dimensions maybe. I know for sure that in Europe you can get around with trains and you can get around with buses or whatnot, but in the United States I feel like what if there's no way to get somewhere without having a car? Isn't that quite possible? And I don't have a license, I don't have a car. If I can't get to a place by bus or by train, I'd be stuck pretty much. I call an Uber. Oh well, alright. I guess I'll have to go through that culture shock. Isn't the United States one of the only countries where that system really works? I haven't ever met anybody who actually used an Uber. They have started the system here in Japan as well, but it's not very realistic, especially in the countryside where I live right now. It's not possible. There's not enough people. But I would love to go for sure. It would be more fun if there was like a group of people that I could stick to. Like, I guess I would still go by myself, but guess that would be more fun. Well, I'm pretty sure should I be able to go to any of the conferences, I'll definitely announce it here, and whoever is available can come along. That's really the most fun part of it anyways, to have a bunch of people to go with. I tend to, if I go by myself, I tend to be the quiet guy who just sits in some corner and like takes notes. Google Studio, definitely I'm doing that. I wish I could go. I wish I could go next month. That would be sweet. I'm actually going to take a look at the prices after this stream, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to go. Just saying it. But it's fine, I'll improve my skills until then, get myself known a bit better online. I guess then I'll have more to gain from it anyways next year. I'll just do my best until then. I have to stop working on the eyes. The eyes start to drive me crazy. I think it's very possible, actually. Well, yeah, that's kind of a bit the scary part of the United States, that it's not the safest place. Like, especially if in my case I'm from a country where there is no way anything happens. Vienna is one of the safest cities. Japan is definitely probably the safest country. There's no way anything happens. In Japan, there is like, I'm absolutely not afraid to go out at any time. If it's in the night, if it's during the day, it doesn't matter if there's any people nearby, even if it's out on the countryside. I can just go outside at any time, at any place, and I don't have to worry about anything. So it's quite a contrast. But still, there is so much to be gained in the United States, as in education, as in opportunities. So even I'm considering to live for a few years there, if I can, of course, to gain experience among other artists. But like, I think you guys understand what parts I don't enjoy so much about the idea of going there. Finland is safer? Might be. Yeah, those kind of countries are really good places to be at. But like, it's just annoying that in these countries, in Europe or in Asia, like if you have like a very specific interest, like 3D for example, there is just not much you can do with. There is no people who are interested into that. There's no place to like talk about it. Everything is going on in different countries, basically. And of course I go around and I start events. I collected artists in Tokyo and Kyoto, and I went to 2 different universities where they have 3D artists, and groups of students who involve with 3D art, but it's just not the same. Like the level is a bit different. But I guess if you're in a group with a couple of people, hopefully even people who are used to the environment, and you only go outside during the daytime, shouldn't it be alright? Or maybe it's time to get started with more engaging virtual presences. What if there is a 3D conference entirely in VR and all the presentations are conducted in VR and everybody is sitting in there and, I don't know, doing the usual thing? I know that it's quite engaging and interactive because there are some games where you have to be connected with your microphone and you have, like, well, for most of your body kind of motion tracking, and it's very interesting how engaging that can be, how real it feels that you're actually talking to a person, and how little effort it takes to make the conversation go smooth. So actually, isn't it totally possible that this could be an option, that people could start to conduct conferences online? Well, I think of course real conferences are going to stay because, well, you want to meet people after all. You want to do business and stuff. But well, let me see what everybody's saying. Who of you lives actually in the United States? I'm just curious. I think not all of you, right? Somebody said they're from India, I think. Wait, Heel, you were from what was it? Swiss? Swiss? I think it was Swiss. Swiss or some other European country. I forgot. Oh, Sweden, damn it. Yeah, I was thinking it's either Swiss or Sweden. All right. But I've been to, like, other countries before that don't have the safest environment. Like, as part of my university program, we went to Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and Laos. And of course, while the cities might be sort of safe, we went to the more rural areas where there really wasn't much regulation, and we saw a little bit of, well, not so safe situations there. So it's very important, I think, to be well prepared and well aware of what's around you, to not do any stupid things. It's easy to avoid if you are aware of the situations, but like if you just go and you think everything is fine and you can do whatever you do in your home country, then I think it can be quite dangerous, especially because tourists are quite popular targets, I believe, because they're like easy to get. They're like, they have lots of things with them, they have valuables with them, they don't know the environment, they're easy to fool. So tourists have a hard time. Don't walk to someone's car. Yeah, I think Thailand was pretty good. I think the one instance that we got almost in trouble was in Malaysia. I don't know why. We just went outside in the night and then we went into the small side streets, and obviously there's groups of people, and we tried to walk past them because we needed to get through. We kind of came from the other side, and then they kind of got up and started walking towards us, and it was getting kind of very scary, and we just turned around and kind of acted like nothing happened, but then they got closer, and like we just kind of barely made it back into kind of a more lit area so that they kind of left us alone. Well, it was kind of scary. So yeah, be careful when you travel. Don't think you can do whatever you can do in your home country. It's quite a sign of life quality to be in a place where it's safe and the social system is stable and everything. Even these days, even though we're getting better every year, I think I tend to look at it very positively. We are getting better and we are improving, but like it takes time, and like a little bit at a time, I would say. So you're saying if it's in Hollywood, it's not too unsafe? So you think Hollywood is a rather safe place? But I guess it is an expensive area. I don't know. Well, you tell me. And yeah, thank you, Sentry. I won't Google that. I actually have some relatives living in the United States as well, but it's a bit different areas. San Francisco rather than Hollywood area. Well, it's still California, I guess. The only time I've been there though was, I think I mentioned it once before, around 16 years ago. So you can imagine how much I remember. But I've been to, I think, more than 20 countries so far. Maybe 25. And that's kind of the lucky side of living in Europe. It's really easy to go everywhere. Oh, that's an interesting comment. Healy's saying, I don't know if this is a thing where Sweden has lots of borderline jokes towards Norway and they do the same thing and it's kind of all funny and good. I think, is that common probably, especially with like similar countries, because I mean you probably can imagine Austrian Germans would do the same thing, and definitely Australia and New Zealand. So I think that's rather common. That's really funny. What do Austrians say that Germans are kind of, what do they say? It has been such a long time that I've been there. I don't even remember. I don't even know. But I know that Austrians are being told to be quite sloppy and kind of like local people by the Germans. So, and I'm pretty sure that you guys have pretty funny examples too with Australia and New Zealand and Norway and Sweden. Alright, let's continue working here. Guys, by the way, I want to show you some very fancy ZBrush skills if you want to. I watched some videos recently and I think I've learned some cool things. Let me just save this file quickly. So you probably know the rendering, the best, what is it called, best preview render, where you get a little shadow. So there are a bunch of things you can actually do here in this render to make it look a lot better. And where did I get that from? Oh, I think there is this guy who's involved with Pixelogic. What's his name? Oh, I forgot. He always does those technical streams. Wait, let me look it up quickly. I want to give him proper credit. And he does a bunch of really good videos, like Pavlovich, Michael Pavlovich. He has really good videos on ZBrush. Definitely take a look at them. He always covers the new features of all new versions of ZBrush, and has introductory series to ZBrush. I really think that if you want to get started with ZBrush, Michael Pavlovich is one of the best sources. Let me post his link in the chat actually, so that you guys can follow along. So here you go, in case you want to take a look. And so from one of his series, I learned a lot of things about rendering in ZBrush, and I just want to show you some of the nice things that you can do here. So first of all, you know that here you have matte caps. Matte caps are basically material captures. They try to capture the features of a material in one sphere for all angles, but not all of them here are. You can see here you have matte cap materials, and here you have standard materials. These ones are actually calculated based on light. So for example, you can choose these ones, and you can go to light and change the direction of the light. And this is just where it starts. So let's open the side tab here. I'll just get rid of this one and get myself light into the side dock and also renderer. And now look at what else you can do. First of all, as I said, you can change the position of the light. You can have multiple lights, turn on a second light and kind of position it on the back, for example, or in the front. Just depends on what you want to do. Turn it off again. And then next, once you render it, of course, the shadows will be according to that position of the light. But now you can even go ahead and load in the light box. There is a bunch of textures included with ZBrush. And they have a few panorama images. And you can actually do like these HDR light environment-based lightnings in ZBrush. So basically you double click them to load the texture into your scene. Then you can go to background and load the texture in here. I'll just get this, turn this off here. And right now it's just a background, right? It doesn't do anything without light at this point. And then you can blur this here as well if you want to. But now look at this. If you go down here and you push light caps, you do light capturing. That is sort of getting like a representation of this environment with lights. And after doing that, you can actually turn off the background as well. You just keep the lights here. And if you render this again with the best preview render, you get all these shadows. And actually, let's turn off this light. And there's just one issue. You get all these shadows, right? So you can turn these off in the light cap settings. Like you can turn down the shadow here for all the ones except for the main light, because you only have one light source in this scene. And render that again, and then you get sort of this result. And it's kind of well, rotated in a direction that makes it a bit difficult to see for us, and the resolution is a bit low, so we should be able to change that somewhere here. Not entirely sure though. Let's try that again. And so, well, that's just one thing. And you can also go into the render settings and you can actually turn on ambient occlusion, and you have subsurface scattering and things like that. And in this example, it might not look amazing. It's just not a very suitable object to show these things off. But in some models, you can get actually really pretty results. Let's do that with hair, maybe. Can we? All right, let's keep it. And so you can get something like this in ZBrush. It's quite pretty. Anyways, let me turn that off again. How do I do that? Just get my light back and just delete my lights here. And we're back to default settings. So that's quite cool to know. And ZBrush has so many cool features that I learned from his kind of tutorials, even about the Z modeler tool, and like how all these features work. Like, definitely take a look if you want to learn more about ZBrush. I'll go back to the basic material. I kind of like this the most. I know that many people also like the Matcap Gray a lot, but personally I just like the basic material the most. So let's do it. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Americans just make fun about each other between states. Yeah. Oh man, the Norwegian and Swedish jokes are quite hilarious. I hope there is nobody from Norwegian here. No one from that area here. But yeah, we definitely do have that sort of thing with Germany and Austria. But they like both do it and everybody's fine with it, so it's like... So, you guys are around 20? Cool. Alright, so next I'll be working on nose and lips. Finally, we made some progress. Ooh, we have somebody new in the chat here. Nice to meet you, Tepu. What kind of job do I plan to do? I want to become a character artist in the game industry, most likely. And I want to be working off semi-realistic story-based games, mostly. So, companies of my interest, well, definitely Square Enix for one, in case of Japan. And I'm pretty sure there are a few ones in a couple of companies in the United States as well that I'm interested in. Sort of like that. I still have a far way to go though. But I'm just studying at this point. I need a tablet, had one. Nice to meet you, Tepu. So, nice. So you are 20, Tony. Nice to meet you. Nice to learn more about you. I'm 22, by the way. Eventually, I plan to work in Japan, but it might not be right away. I'm interested in going abroad to gain some more knowledge in other countries before coming back, but I speak Japanese enough at this point to consider it, and so I'm thinking about staying in Japan. I mean, I am in Japan right now studying at university, so considering to stay here if I can. How many people are watching here, by the way? I didn't look at all. 10 people? Nice. Oh, you're asking me? I just mentioned, that's why I thought you're asking somebody else. I'm 22. Yes, so good guess there. Well, I just turned 22 though, really. A couple of days ago, actually. 2 weeks ago, roughly. Exactly. 16. Well, nice to have you here. I really like about this community that age and like position doesn't matter at all. I have a bunch of friends who are like 40 or like 50 and we're totally normally talking about our projects. Then I have some friends who are just like 15 or 16 and they're also interested in 3D and it's totally normal. I just remember when I grew up, I always had like a bit of a conflict with being so young and wanting to do these things. I would always be embarrassed and like feel really unimportant myself. And I had a hard time kind of going to all these places where people would go with these interests. But just to give you guys some hope in case you guys are worried about that. Man, but you guys have some great fantasy. Like, I feel like the older you get, the less creative you become. Keep that. That's a very good skill that you have there. To come up with stories and to be creative. Thinking outside of the box and like just saying any weird idea that comes to your mind. I really wish I had that more. Because like, okay, now at this point I can make characters, but I'm still quite powerless without anybody who can make a meaningful scenario for me. Ooh, I like the lips here. What do you guys think? I made them quite extreme in shape. Very expressive. It is very important, I feel, for a career and passion to start, that you get support by your environment. If there's people in your environment who tell you that you shouldn't be doing anything that has something to do with 3D, it will be very hard for a person to continue working in that environment or staying motivated. Even if you really like the subject, people will stop being motivated because it's too stressful to do something that doesn't like harmonize with your environment. So it's very unfortunate that like some people give, especially young people, a hard time who try to do something in some professional field because they're like saying, well, you're young and stuff, or like they're thinking maybe, and that's really harmful to them actually. So I really wish from my past in particular that people would be more open to young people and openly invite them on the same level to participate and to do things. I was just lucky with my parents supporting me quite a lot, or like even I was thinking that my parents probably don't take me serious enough. So what I did to kind of protect myself was, for the first 3 years or so in art mostly, I was just hiding all my work, all my drawings, and then I all of a sudden I was just like good at drawing all of a sudden for them in their eyes, because I just never showed them, because I never gave them an opportunity to tell me that, like, even though they would support me and compliment me, I would hear in their voice that they probably think that I'm just playing around, and I really didn't want to hear that. So that's also one way to get around that. Let me see your comments quickly. Yeah, definitely, Donnie, you're right. I should go to more events so that I can meet. I'm quite a bit struggling with that. Obviously, I enjoy 100% talking to you guys, as it's just a motivating factor for me. I'm only able to work this long straight if I'm kind of talking with people about it, so it's really a wonderful thing for me. But I do sometimes wish I would have more chances to talk to professionals, because all the learning I can currently do is by myself through all resources that I get online. But if I could maybe talk to some people who are really professionals, I could get more insights into like their techniques. I could ask so many questions that I have. So yeah, I should be going to more places. You like the lips? That's really good. Thank you for that. I'm doing my best here. Professionals are busy. True. Bother them to get their attention. Yeah, I'll just try. I'm really bad at bothering people. I hate bothering so much. But true, the worst thing that could happen is that they reject you and you move on. That's true as well. Tepu is saying, I've been researching about Japanese working visas for a while and seems difficult to get a job in digital art in Japan. Yes, definitely. It is really difficult to get a job in Japan, and the visa in particular. It's like so complicated. I think in this industry it's fine if you don't have a degree. I mean, that's just my positive thinking a bit maybe, but in art they look at your portfolio, and if you're skilled and talented and if you have experience in the industry, they will likely take you. I cannot imagine them rejecting somebody if they are searching, if they have an open position. Like, there need to be a couple of things coming together. First, they need to have an open position. You need to be a good fit for that position, and you need to show that you have the skills to really be the right person for that job. If these things come together, it doesn't matter whether you have like a degree or not, they would probably take you. And regarding the visa, I think once the company wants to have you, there will be a way to get you in. But it's very likely that you will not have much chances without Japanese. There is very few companies who kind of take foreigners, and I don't think they like it if you don't have language skills. Language skills will definitely help you get a job here, and finally, like, you have to think from a country's perspective. They will only give a job to you if you're like contributing to their system, to their economy. They don't want you to take the jobs from the local people. So if there is a job that they could do better themselves, then they will not give it to people from outside, which is a quite obvious decision from their side. So that's why recently, for example, I heard something like they don't have enough workers in the elderly care system, so they get people from other countries to do that. So it's easier to get those jobs. Also, English teaching, they want teachers who speak English to come from, like, native speakers to come, so that should be not too difficult. And highly specialized jobs, you will also have a chance, but you will probably not be able to go there to become a cook or something like that, because they have enough people in that industry, and why would they take somebody from outside if they can avoid language difficulties, communication difficulties, and have somebody from their own country. So just think about it realistically and you'll kind of get your own answers. What else? Any art-related work is hard on the visa side. Well, I don't have much experience with visa in relation to the work, but I think the company will mainly look at your portfolio. The visa might be difficult, but I don't know too much about that. Heel says, I go to the game jams to meet professionals and participate in the competition. Wonderful. That's really cool. What kind of places do you go to? Are you going by chance to want some of those in Germany or like Norway? I don't know about particular ones in Sweden. But maybe there are some. Austria had some too. I thought Japan was trying to import a young labor force. Yeah, they're trying to get more people, but as I said, they try to get people for things that they need. They don't want to take jobs from themselves. Thanks for the support. Emoji, what happened all of a sudden? You want to make a game and give love to all your fans? You have my support. Game jams sound like fun. I wonder if they would give me, though, a whole week to sculpt one character. If you guys are interested in some behind-the-scenes work of Final Fantasy, last year in 2017, on the Japanese ZBrush Summit, I don't know what the name of it was. It's not, might not be ZBrush Summit, but it's like there's a Japanese ZBrush event, and there was a presentation by one of the artists who worked on Final Fantasy, and they did some live sculpting for the details on like one of the very strong enemies, and it was quite amazing to see like how far they go in detail and like how incredibly much effort goes into just one single character. So it's really interesting. You can speak Japanese, that's cool. Did you learn it by yourself? Where are you from, by the way? I'm curious now. There's many ways of entry to Japan, and depending on your age, and like, for example, university is a very nice way to start, because then you have a degree and they will be much more willing to take you, for example, and you even get to do some additional Japanese language classes. This channel actually has quite a lot of Japanese viewers, in case you guys are interested. I think 10% or so are Japanese. More than 10%. It's the second biggest group of viewers after United States. But I'm not sure if they're looking at these kind of streams. I don't think there's anybody in the stream here. Pretty sure some game jams let you use previous original work as well as open source and bought assets. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that would be cool. Build up an asset folder and go to a game jam. Oh, that's cool. So I go there basically with the mindset of I will make some fantasy game and I'll just bring all the characters needed for a fantasy game, and then some team that I can group up with can just use all my assets, pretty much. That sounds cool. And Malcolm, welcome to the stream. You're in Canada. Thanks a lot for commenting and joining the chat. Enjoy. I hope it's entertaining for you as well. And for anybody who hasn't had a chance to check it out yet, definitely take a look at the Facebook group for this project. I'm posting all screenshots and like updates and things there, especially when I don't get to stream. If you just look on YouTube, you might miss some information, so on Facebook you'll be up to date. Just throwing that out there quickly. Yeah, some more Japanese there. You're having fun, aren't you? Let's see. yeah, we're still starting out here in this community, I guess. So far we have 18 followers. Oh, that's cool. 18 followers over there. Alright, next part, the nose. I want to make the nose a bit more special. It looks so plain. Let me get the eyebrows back into place, by the way. Let me see if I can make them a bit more... not so angry looking, most importantly. I think I'll change her hairstyle as well. So what do you guys think for the hair? What kind of hairstyle should we give her? It's time for you guys to decide. Oh wow, so many comments. Lots of fun. Great. At Nordic Games Jam, pre-made assets have usually been allowed at least. Thanks for the comment, Seiko. Welcome. My pleasure. I've been watching some of your videos. I can tell you're committed to your modeling projects. To get back into 3D modeling myself. Currently working at remaking Super Mario. Wonderful. I really hope you can get at least some inspiration from this stream. We're just talking about random topics like how to work in Japan and stuff like that, but I hope you can find some inspiration and energy to get back to work yourself. It's like 5 AM in the American East Coast. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry to like keep you up at this time all the time, but like even my sleeping rhythm is like way out of balance right now. I woke up at like 12 and I go to sleep at like 4 AM, so like even if I wanted to, it's hard for me to stream earlier these days. But seems like you guys are up at night as you usually, so I guess then it's fine. I'm just saying my issue is making cloths, and you should definitely watch my last video on normal maps and cloth baking. I think you were there, weren't you? I'll be doing cloths again for this one and apply many new things that I learned, and we'll do a better job, so stick around to learn more about that. Wow. Yeah, let's stick to English, I guess. Clothes are difficult, yeah. Well, I think there's like two strategies, right? Sculpting them from an extracted mesh or like using Marvelous Designer. And I feel that the Marvelous Designer is currently the workflow that seems to be used more in the industry. So I want to work with that primarily, but we'll see like how we work with Marvelous Designer and we end up in ZBrush adding details and like kind of a hybrid workflow. So now we have ghosts and vampires here. That's nice too. So you don't sleep. Well, you better sleep. Let me tell you, not sleeping is not a good thing. But you should probably know that. I woke up at 1 PM. Yeah. Okay, is that maybe one of those too much detailed comments? I'm not sure if I needed to know that part. Well, I'm glad you have a place to enjoy watching the stream, Donnie. That's good. Nice. How is it looking? I don't know. I think I'm getting too much into detail here. Like, the reason why I can't make big changes at this point anymore is because I just went too much into detail very early on. And so while it doesn't look bad at all, I just can't make the big changes that I was hoping for. But oh yeah, by the way, what about the hair? Do you guys have any ideas for the hair? Should she have like long straight hair or short hair, or like some fancy bound together hair, arranged hair or something? Send me some pictures or like give me some descriptions and I'll do that. But she looks nicer now. She doesn't look as angry as she used to be, so definitely happy with our improvements. The eyebrows make a very big difference. And I think the corners of her mouths are also a point that we can improve. Maybe this is better. Oh, okay, just a second. Oh, never mind. Bob cut. A bob? What's a bob cut? Let me look this up. That sort of thing. Messy. Yes, I am asking for a hairstyle at 5 AM. Is there a problem with that? But I want to make something like fancier, like nothing casual from these days. Imagine she's from the past. She lives like in a time maybe 1,000 years ago, and her hair should be long. Probably that's a better choice, because like let's just say they have like that sort of culture where they want to look very where that's, I don't know. Let me look a bit for pictures. But like, I'm pretty sure even back then they would make some pretty arrangements, like nicely knotted hair, or like not braided necessarily, but those sort of things. I'm trying to imagine what like a character in that sort of situation would likely do to make it kind of coherent and realistic. Yeah, Donnie, take your time there. Okay. I have some references here, so I'll just get started, I guess. And we can see how things go. Okay. We can maybe do something slightly shorter. Oh, but we didn't finish the nose, did we? Let's do the nose first. Oh, there we have another long comment. Tepe saying, I'm a live 2D artist. I was studying Maya, eventually planned to get a job in Japan, but when I asked a Japanese lawyer about the possibility of getting a visa if the company hires me, they said no. Well, that's frustrating. Well, what else did he tell you for Tepe? Did he say you need? But what about the Can't you go to Japan and just get some sort of quick 1 year or 2 year degree, some cheap one, and use the time maybe to get used to the industry? Like, if that's the case, maybe you cannot get around it, but there are still options for you to kind of get in to the system somehow. Celtic culture, dresses, braided, but I don't think the common folk had much time for fashion. Yeah, well, in this case, this character is, I suppose, quite highly ranking. A demon, though. She's a demon. I think she would have fancy hair. I'll look some of them up. He recommends that you go study programs. That I go to study program instead because I could get a visa if I had towards. Yeah, I guess maybe that's the only way for you to do a step in between, to go to some educational institution for a while. Okay then. Alright, Sandra, I looked that up. I see what you mean. Well, I'll try a couple of things. We'll see what kind of works out best. Maybe we should give her horns after all, but like, I don't want to overdo it. It should be a bit unique, a bit special. Anyways, how are we doing with the nose? Fine, I guess. I actually think I should be modeling faces with the mouth open, because I keep thinking, how do I continue these faces, like the inside of the mouth, if I do it like this? Retopology and these sort of things are quite tough when the mouth is closed, and baking normal maps and that sort of thing. Starting a company is a very tough choice, because, well, you don't necessarily need a lot of money, but you have very hard time without really good level of language, and also, well, you need to keep a business. That by itself is not very easy. I'm currently studying business, international business management at university, so I actually don't even have a degree related to art, so I hope I'm not running into the same issue as you, but so I'm considering maybe just doing my own business here. That's like also an option, because then my degree would be sort of kind of suitable. And actually I do have one college degree for like multimedia and arts, because my high school was specialized, but I'm not sure if they'll accept that one. She can use telepathy. Mouth doesn't matter. Good questions. Thinking a bit about kind of person I want her to be. Like, at the moment, it just seems like to me we're not really on the right track with the kind of personality I want her face to express. It looks nice as a face, but like... Alright, let's go for it. Let's do something. First of all, should she have horns? Yes or no? Who wants to see horns? I'll just try and we'll see. Here's some horns, by the way. We can just quickly try that out. You can give some special ears as well. Well, that's some cool options. I was quite happy with that subtle ear though. You can make that a bit stronger. One horn or two horns. So I guess she's not a unicorn, so so I guess we'll not in this one. This one. Okay, so we have spikes and horns. What do these look like? But I don't like that sort of thing much. It's kind of not my style, really. Oh, definitely. And if you want to show me your character or something like that. Guys, that joke with horny devil and stuff like that is coming up quite often now. That's like the third comment or so. Anyways, I'm thinking maybe can't we do a hairstyle that looks like she has horns, like hair like kind of twisted in a way that makes it look like she has horns. That would be cool. Because, and also I was just thinking maybe we can make her, I'll do that with a layer quickly. I want to try to make her skin a bit different. Maybe she can have some sort of, like, do you guys know what I mean? Sort of these sort of things in her skin, and then that can be part of her design. I mean, just sketching this out here right now, so just getting the idea down, but it could be like, or like ornaments, not like cracks. Maybe she can have like ornamented elements in her face. I always wanted to learn more about ornaments, actually. How do they do them so beautifully in games? Something like this, and then it's always S curves and C's. So there's an S, and here's another S, and then you add like another branch to it. Oh, that would look fancy. I really like this idea. And then you go like for little C's in some areas to give it some variation. I think that's how you do them nicely. So do you guys still, I know that most of you know him, but so she is married to Mr. Arata, and you can see his model if you click on the link in the description, the Facebook page. So kind of trying also to think about a character that suits him very well. So, and she's kind of a nice person at this point. She's not evil, so she's a very gentle person in my image that I have of her. So the reason why the king is getting rid of her is just because of the fact that she's a demon, but the truth is basically that she's actually very kind as a demon, and that she's actually not doing anything bad. And so that's kind of part of the story. So kind of trying to give her a very elegant, kind look. Can I apply? Oh man, I should be careful here. I just did this with a layer, but oh, okay, no, I didn't put it on a layer. Well, I see now. Oh well, let's keep it. Let's get rid of the layer. I won't do more, but if we don't need the details, we can just erase them later. It's not too much work. All right. Oh wow, so many comments. Great. A horny devil. Yeah, but I think I'll go for this option. So I'll try to indicate horns with the way she does her hair. So maybe she's hiding her horns actually underneath the hair because she doesn't want to like stand out as a devil. So what she does is she takes her hair and she kind of makes a fancy set for her hair where she covers up her small horns, basically. I think that's a pretty good idea because that's what she would be trying to do if she kind of lives in a world where they kind of don't want to have devils and demons. But he's a magician, by the way, an elemental wizard, as MG pointed out last time. Sweden has a large game industry, really. Independently, yeah. America, England, Japan, or own company. Yeah, these are pretty much the options that you have. I see it similarly. I think Canada also has quite good places, and there's some in South Korea as well. But I'm not too informed on that. She's one of the 7 leaders of Hell's daughter. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she could be the daughter of some kind of. But like, I don't want to push it too much into kind of like, it's a good question. What is a demon in first place in this world? Is there such a thing as hell? Is there such? I mean, the way I see it, it's not really based on the concepts that we know with heaven and hell and that sort of thing. Maybe it's more of a spiritual thing. Maybe it's more of a Buddhist kind of scenario, but with some some more European Western characters in it. I don't know. I should think a bit more about that. Well, yeah, you should not get married to somebody just to stay in a country. That's not a good idea. Yeah, I definitely watched Elephant Lead. That was a really good one. Use the necktie as a ribbon. The necktie as a ribbon? Oh. Interesting. I mean, like, so wizards are people who have the ability to kind of use life energy or something, or like magical energy or something to transform the elements. So he can influence fire, water, earth, and air, and that sort of thing, right? And well, the story is really up to you guys. We kind of came up with this story in the very first stream, right? Does she even need to be a demon? Okay, I won't comment on that topic there, I guess, but human. Oh, she could be a half. That's a good idea. She's half human and half something. And so what I'm thinking is, imagine this is her hair, and so I'll just add this quickly here. Maybe around here. I was thinking about, let's use C modeler, transpose, flat island. Oh, we need to delete some edge loops before that. Delete edge loop complete. Local symmetry, was it? Yes. Alright, there we go. And this will be sort of her hair, in a way. So I'm thinking about if I make this a bit more subdivided, let me just join it with Dynamesh. Thinking about detailing it in a way that she just kind of has her hair spiraling around this, and she kind of covers up by doing so. This could be a bit more blurred here. Kind of the hair coming out from the top, maybe, as she kind of styles it like that. Oh well, I like her design, but I don't feel like she's a very suitable character for the type of story that I'm trying to go for. Let's see. What kind of world is she living in first place? What do you guys think? Considering the first character that we developed, like, what is the situation of this kingdom? What is the king trying to do? What is the society looking like? Who are they in the society? How does the world work in first place? Like, what kind of species are there? Is there any dangers outside? Is there anything that needs to be achieved? Are there economical issues? Are there social issues? Or is there fight between different leaderships or anything like that? Medieval and future. King is corrupted. It would be interesting to have like a mix between medieval and future. Like, that reminds me of Final Fantasy 15 actually. It's like a kingdom, it's kind of medieval style, lots of ornaments, but it's the future, so they have cars and smartphones and like spaceships and that sort of thing. That's a really, really interesting one. Arata lives in Quan's town out in the country. Neighboring country invades. They're religious, hate demons, and kill her. Arata steampunk can be like the real world. Everyone has their own motivation and focus. There is so much corruption and the justice system is a joke. Having demons in a steampunk world sounds far-fetched. Victorian steampunk. Swords are cool. And cool guns. Dashing devilish man. Looks so good. Cuts. Alright, that's a very creative one. Sharp looks that cut your eyes. Victorian era has people doing devil worship. They have 3 days until the world ends, and the main character, who's an orphan, is trying to find his family before the world ends. Well, I'm going to be thinking about all your ideas and trying to gather like a common thread in everyone's contribution. I'm just starting to think it's true. We have to get a bit more gathered with our ideas. Like we have to come up with a world in which it makes sense to fight for these things. I don't want to make something with unreasonable scenarios. Should be all understandable. This is what I love Sculptris for in ZBrush, the new one. You can just delete huge masses of geometry just by smoothing it very simply. Let me read some comments. Okay. First, good versus evil. Is anyone really good? Good people are as indifferent as the bad. When you have to save yourself and can't count on anyone, what values do you hold on to? That sounds like a Steve Carell movie. I don't know Steve Carell. Arata, it is starting to sound like a guy from a harem anime. Why would that be? Both sides are ambitious. That sounds interesting. The concept of good and bad is kind of vague anyways. Who decides what's good and bad anyways? Humans are irrational. Doesn't mean that they're all evil. Blend surprise. He's married. What if you like me faced with the question of, do you leave everything and everyone behind because your basic human rights haven't been respected? What do you do when $200,000 with 200 selfish or not? Thanks for joining, Donnie, so far. Wonderful. I'll let everyone know if I go to the ZBrush summit. Then you guys can join. Alright, well, let's see. I won't think too much about the story anymore at this point. I'll just make her look nice, whatever looks good on her, for a few more, I don't know, for a bit longer. And then I'll just think a bit about the story and use your ideas as inspiration and see what we can come up with, and I'll just let you know next time. We'll come up with something nice. But it's true, we kind of need a more solid kind of thing to work off so that our work pays off here. And it's easier to develop characters even from a design perspective once you have your goals defined. Then everything makes a lot more sense. So I don't know, I messed her hair up completely. Let's delete that hair. Alright. But I'm pretty happy with what she turned out like. She looks quite good, I would say, as a character, as a head model. Let's render that quickly. There we go. So wow, your comments are so deep. I'll read them again to think about kind of the content. Let me take that email address. I'll save it on the side. Alright guys, anyways, I think we did a good amount of work today. I'm also going to call it a day. So thanks everybody for joining. Definitely make sure to take a look at the Facebook group where we post all the updates and progresses regarding to this project. The link is in the description below. And thanks a lot, like really, today's communication was amazing. Like, it was really fun talking to all of you. I learned quite a lot by myself. And thanks for the follow on Facebook. Alright then, I hope to see you next time. I'll be streaming again as soon as I get to it, and I hope to see you there. So guys, talk to you soon and have a good day.